Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Archetype. My name's Josh Herman. Herman? My name's Josh Herman. Welcome to the show today. We're going to be making some stuff in Unreal 5 today. In case you can't see the title, we're finalizing our last character of our Sage, which is the last of our Sage. There's 12 archetypes in the Carl Jung's archetypes. We are 3 down. We're working through all 12 in the series, and we're going to try to wrap up the scene. If you've never seen this before, I'm going to continue jumping into some of the stuff I've worked on before. And I got a couple cool things to show you today. This character that I've been working on, sort of an isolated, independent type character who kind of focuses on their work all day and every day. We've got the character, or at least I've got the character, pretty well fleshed out. I'll be honest, this project has grown in scope more than I expected it to. So this one is probably not my best work, but I guess that's the challenge of making something live, and doing a series. There's no way to do like sketches that are behind the scenes, but I'm going to show you everything I've got today, and we'll be wrapping it up this week. Meaning I'm going to do as much as I can on stream today, and then over the next week before we start the next character, I'll do some renders and finalize the character so we can be done with it. And then we'll move on to the next one, which will be a secret for now. Let me jump over to my Trello board. In case you don't know what Trello is, I'll show you that. And I also just kind of want to generally share with you my process. As part of this series here, what I like to do is show the entire process of how I like to work, the goods and the bads of that. So here is Trello. If you've never used Trello, it's basically like a virtual board that you can put post-it notes, that you can attach post-it notes and comments and etc. to. So you can see there are some previous things here. When I don't touch a card in this, it fades like a pirate map, so that's why these look a little aged on the sides. But you can see right now we're working on the Sage character. Previously, we worked on the creator, so you'll see maybe a couple of these options here. These are the previous renders that I did for the creator, also known as the artist. There's some more inspiration, obviously, for creator and types of creators. And then the caregiver. This was the character we did the last series we did. So some shots with that. This character here is rendered in Unreal 5, whereas the one before that was actually rendered in Marmoset Toolbag 4. So some shots of that. You can obviously, if you're interested in this and you want to check those out more, you want to see more high-res ones, I would recommend you coming over to my ArtStation, which seems to be loading, but you can see those here, and you can see some larger full-size scale shots of that, so take a look at those. See a couple people joining the stream. Hello, everybody. Hopefully you are all doing well and everybody's safe out there and everything's going good for you. But yeah, this is the previous series. This is the one that we're working on now is the Sage, and I basically walk this card, meaning I can grab and drag and drop this card from left to right. So I started with inspiration, sketches, and ideas, sculpting and modeling, lighting and composition. I'm kind of in these 3 phases right now. I'm not really doing one individually, so we'll jump over to that in a minute, and then today we'll basically be trying to get to this point, or we will be at this point, and then when we're done, we'll move it over here. We'll pick another one of these, and we'll continue pushing it through. In case you don't know what the archetypes are, here's what they are. This is the 12 archetypes as it kind of goes around. So we've done the artist, also known as the creator. We've done the caregiver, and we've done the sage. So we still have the ruler, the innocent, the explorer, the outlaw, the magician, the hero, the lover, the jester, and the every person to do for this series. And that's what we'll be doing for the rest of the year, is getting all of those done. I want to check for everybody before I get into any of the real important stuff of this. If I sound okay, and if you can hear the music, I can barely hear it, but I always hear that it's a little too loud in the recordings. So let me know if everything looks good and sounds good. All right. Aside from that, we have some exciting and new cool things. So I'm actually going to play a video for you all in just a minute. Often what I do in this stream, again, is if this is the first time that you're watching the stream, no music though. Thank you very much, Gary. Appreciate that. Let's just bump that up a little bit. Let me, if it's pretty low, lo-fi music, but if it gets too loud, please tell me and let me know. Often as part of this series, what I like to do is play recap videos to catch you up on what I did. I'll do that in a second, but I want to show you a different video actually first. because Noman just released, just dropped a new video. I want to make sure you can all see that, but for some reason it's not online. 1 second, what is happening? I was just going to the page. It says it's public. If you go to the Noman YouTube channel, you should see a new video being uploaded. Oh, it's just not here because I'm live, that's why. I'm going to paste this in the chat, and then we're also going to play it here. It's a bit too loud. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, people on Twitch. Go ahead and take a look at that video. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to show you real quick what it is. This is the new, come on, Internet, the new 2022 Noman Student Reel. So I want to give a shout out to all of our students at Noman who create the incredible work that makes the school. This is about 7 minutes long. I've actually got it loaded up here, so I'm going to go ahead and play it here for us. So meaning you can go ahead and jump over to this video, to the link that I just posted. I would recommend that. Give the students a shout out in the comments. But if you don't want to leave this stream, don't worry about that. I'm going to play the video for you right now. So let's watch that, and then we'll come back to this. All right. There we go. Amazing student reel. Thank you to all the students for doing that incredible work. That just got posted on Instagram, got posted on YouTube, so go ahead and take that out and show the students some love. They're incredible. There was a couple questions I saw from the chats. Is that project from last year students only? No, meaning that can be from any student, whether they just started or they're in their last term. So it is all of the work that was done in all of 2021, so it's the reel we're moving forward with in 2022. But it is work that could be done from any student of any age. Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, and now we're back in Archetype. So welcome back. My internet might be lagging a little bit because I'm downloading a lot of assets at the same time. I want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up on where we are. So right now I'm in Unreal 5. I'm going to show you a little bit of the layout of what we've got going on in here. I'm going to drag some windows over and you'll see we have our character here. I'll also go into Zbrush real fast so you can see what we got to with that. So this is the character. I did end up doing last stream. I was having a lot of issues with feathers, trying to get this working, and I ended up having some pretty good success. And so you can see what I've got here with these kind of long feathers. I was thinking about this character and I decided that I was probably going to do something where I don't think I'm going to shoot them too close. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done a feathered character before. So I'm happy with that. I've learned the process, but I realize I should have spent a lot more time on the feathers themselves. And I'm not necessarily in love with them. That's part of doing a project sometimes. So now that they're in Unreal, I have a sequencer, which is right up here. I'll make this so it's kind of over my head a little bit. I'm going to move it out of the way. If I drag and drop this, if I drag this time slider, this basically animates the time of day. So you can see the lighting there. I'll move it this way, you can see it a little bit better. The lighting is going to move across the ground, and then the sun is going to rise on this side. It will then go all the way over here, and it will then set on this side. I'm going a little fast. So you can get some nice sunsets, sunrises. You can kind of check that out. This is what that will look like. Again, we're using Unreal 5, so this is using the Lumen lighting engine, which basically means that this is the only light source in the file, is just this one sun. I am using the dynamic sky, ultra dynamic sky, which is pretty awesome, so I'd recommend checking that out. And that's just animating this time of day. Now, this is the character over here. I did end up removing some of their feather or their robe. I wasn't really loving it, and it doesn't hold up super well in some of the close-ups, so I did end up you can see it's a little rough, but I think some of the shots that I want to do for it are probably almost like more contemplative, a little bit further away. So I ended up setting up a camera, something kind of like this. I'll move the sequencer out of the way, and you'll be able to see a little bit of where I'm at here, so you can see the sort of shallow depth of field. I think I had this thing in the front too. Gonna move this pillar or something just so it's kind of in the front. And I'm gonna play a lot with materials today, set dressing today, and just kind of getting this set up. But this is probably gonna be one of my key angles, so I'm gonna focus on that a lot today. And again, I can change the lighting just by coming into my sequencer, which is just an animation as far as the time of day is concerned, and I can get some lights, casting harshly on the character or more ambient or whatever I like, which is great. This is why I really like Unreal, is just how easy it is and how fast it is to be able to view this. And then of course, I'll go back to a perspective view. I don't want to move my other camera around. I might do a nighttime shot as well. I don't know where I'm at right now. There we go. So the nighttime shot would be kind of interesting. I do want to get some candles up, but I think there's the moon. Let's see if we can find that moon. I made the moon really, really large last time. All right, let's find the moon. There you are. And as it animates, it should move. So I think it could be interesting. Where's it going? To do some form of a shot, I can move the moon pretty easily. But if I could move it to where it's kind of one of these things where, We'll kind of silhouette the building or something. And we can kind of see this, I think, is kind of what I want to check. I want to do when I'm done with all this. So, something. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But I like this moon. I like these clouds. I like a lot of the stuff that's going on. But now I got to set dress this environment. First things that I'm going to address is I don't really like a lot of the materials. I was playing around with the materials. They're working, but they're not my favorite type of materials. This shiny, I like this type of stuff that's working well for me, these Megascan assets that I've thrown in. These are just, again, excuse me, Megascan assets that have been kind of pushed together. But I like this vibe. And initially I was going for like a library with some wood, right? And then I was kind of combining all these tile textures. I still like some of that, but it's still feeling a bit odd and a bit out of place. With the character and the environment and all this kind of ruins and stuff around there. So I'm probably going to change that up today, which is why these downloads are happening right now. Thank you very much for the comment. How much time have I spent on this project so far? This is our fifth and final stream is what I was going to say, on this character. And each of those is about 2 hours. So it's 10 hours. And then I would say probably about... not too much. It's been very busy, and obviously in the world there's been a lot of distracting things going on. So maybe a total of 20 hours, which is not as much time as I would have liked to spend on it, but maybe a total of 20 to 30 hours. A lot of that is troubleshooting. I will be doing paint overs on this, just like I did the previous one, meaning if I go to my art station again, which I closed, I'll show you a little bit of what I mean there. This character here is quite a bit of paint over, so you can see some of these little things that break the silhouette, just generally adding a little bit more atmosphere. This is all paint over, whereas this one is a little less paint over. It's more just 3D model. So the one I'm doing right now will have a little bit more paint over. I'm still learning Unreal, meaning I know it enough to make something and to make something that you see here, but it's not something that I'm super an expert in. But I'm kind of using these projects as a way to do that. So let's start with materials. I was also opening Quixel Mixer as the stream was starting, but I have this weird issue where I have two Quixel mixers, and this is the one that opens and this is the old one, and I don't want this one, so I have to go find like the right Quixel mixer, and we can use this to create some new materials for us. So I'm going to do a little bit of that work today, but now I need to close this and it will not close. There we go. Thank you for closing the program. Cool. I did go into the bridge. In case you've never used Unreal 5, you can go to Content, Quixel Bridge. You can find the bridge here. Whoop, it's over here. And I've been downloading some of this older style stuff, castle walls, medieval village, ancient temple, some of these more older elements. I had used a lot of this style, old wallpaper and so on, but it wasn't really working. It was feeling kind of odd. I might get something like a trim or a slightly more... like this has like a mosaic. This could be something interesting for the ground pattern. Maybe too checkerboarded, but what I do like about the materials I have now is that the sun reflects off of them. So that's what I'm trying to keep in mind here. There's a lot of stuff we can play in here. This Roman stuff, the Grecian stuff is great. This is kind of interesting. Also downloaded a bunch since we started. Kind of interesting. So I'll download some of these as we get moving. Roman polished. I like polished. Marble floor. What do you look like? As you can see, downloading and streaming at the same time is taking a tax like a main computer. Well, I kind of like that. Let's try this. Pretty simple. Again, if you've never used this before, this is the bridge in Unreal 5. It's integrated now. All you got to do is download stuff. You'll see it's going to do its little download action. And then all you have to do is you have to hit this little add button right here, which is apparently behind my screen. There we go. The add button right there. Like it turned blue right now. So if I hit add, It'll look like nothing happens for a second. But your screen will also freeze for a half second. And then you can minimize your bridge. Open your content browser by hitting Control Space. And you can open up your surfaces, and let's see if we got it in here. Marble, Nightmare Marble. These are a bunch of other ones that I've tried, so I'll show you kind of what I've been working with. And we'll just use this wall here. I kind of like this wall, this angle. This was feeling almost like Dracula, which I was totally okay with that vibe. But you can just drag and drop materials, and we'll get a different look. So this is like a marble vibe, which is kind of cool. This is called Nightmare Marble, pattern marbles. These are all the ones that I was using as placeholders. This is the one I was just looking at. That's kind of interesting. Let's just undo all that. Go back to our one that wasn't really working. And toss this here. That's a nice reflection, but it's a little intense. I could obviously come in and fix that if I need to, but I want to see what it looks like when there's like a shadow cast. See this. What I'm looking for, was hoping for, is in some of these other ones, there'll be like a nice little reflection. What is that? Oh, it's a ceiling. This one is super sheen. So this is kind of what I'm looking for, and this is why I was hoping we'll probably will use Quixel Mixer. Maybe not today, but at another time to get this going. I've also got some stuff here to cast some shadows, so if I wanted to do like an overlooking area, I can do that as well. But yeah, let's post some materials. Let's get a little bit more bright light in here. That'll do just fine. And let's download some of these, or actually not download, let's add some of these from my locals. I've already downloaded them all. But these are some new ones that I'm going to do. I'm going to replace some of these chunks, and we're basically going to reset dress this entire area today. So if you're interested in set dressing, layout, all that fun stuff, we'll be doing that today. Let's get some of these added. You can also hit this little blue button right here. Export. Or add. Again, it takes a second to do all this. It's the files for these are quite large. So sometimes it does take a minute. But that's okay. I wish this is something I could do off stream, but downloading all these assets and adding all these assets takes so long, and sometimes it's just part of like the process of just trying to figure out what exactly it's going to look like. So it's not really something I can just do off stream, unfortunately, to speed up the process. This thing, it's exporting nanite, which feels wrong because that's a surface. Let's make sure it's not like doing something really weird. Yeah, I see it coming in. Ancient Temple Wall. So I'll hide this and we'll play around with some of these real fast. So Ancient Temple Wall, you can see the scaling on these is a little off, but let's push this. Let's just duplicate this so we can get a better sense of it in the sun. So this is kind of what this looks like. Turn on our snap up here. This might be maybe too ancient. This is kind of nice. Let's try this on the floor. This is going to have to be scaled way down. I think this is just a cube or a plane. I mean, you can see how big, whoa, careful how big it is. What is Archetype? Good question. Archetype is the series that you're watching right now. Archetype is basically a series of 12 different archetypes that exist in all characters of any type. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So far in this series, as an art series, we have done the artist, the caregiver, and right now we're currently working on the sage. You can check those out here. I'll put that in the chat in case anybody's interested in that. But you can see the previous ones that we did, which was the artist slash creator, and then the caregiver here, and then now we're working on the sage. So good question, thanks for asking. Making some characters. This one has been a big challenge for me. This character has been hard to nail. I'm still not in love with how it looks, but as part of the series, I do need to eventually move on. So I'm going to try to get it as close to done as I can. There's all kinds of sayings about that, but you know, the whole deadlines are there. You know, art is never done; it's just released. What archetype am I? Oh, that's a good question. What archetype am I? I don't know if I'm the artist. I don't think I'm the artist. I'm probably. Oh, that's a really good one. What would I be as this loads? It's also important to know that most people are combinations, like meaning like nobody's specific on that. I'm also looking at the inner rings, like this is what they also crave. So for example, the artist craves innovation, the sage craves knowledge, the caregiver craves service. I'm probably a bit of caregiver. Probably a bit of caregiver. Probably a bit of the everyman. And probably artist and then explorer. Those are probably the four that I would pick for myself. I'm curious what you think, what everybody else thinks they are. Is this loaded? There we go. Add. This is taking a lot longer than I expected it to. Considering we're already 30 minutes into the stream. Alright, this lens on whatever this camera is feels intense. So I'm going to come over here. I don't know why that is. It feels like very wide. Let's go into our windows. World outliner. There you are. Camera. This one. You can see little previews. You throw me flowers for my work. Thank you. The environment assets from photogrammetry. Yeah, they're from the Megascans assets. So Megascans is kind of the one that I'm using. That's all built into this. There's also some really cool features in here, which I'm not going to play with too much, but I'll show you just because there's got some new people in the stream today. This is the weather preset, so I can come in here and say I want it to be partially cloudy. Let's get like, I don't know why this camera is so wide. So here's our weather. If we want it to be overcast, we can do that. If we want it to be foggy, it can be that. If we want it to have light rain, we can do that. You'll see that it's actually going to be raining outside, or should be. You can play sometimes. Oh! Yep, this is Unreal. You can still play. It's not raining, but it should be. You can also go to your other ones. That was the sky, not the weather. The weather, there we go. You can do snow. You can do all kinds of fun things in here. This one, for some reason, all of a sudden stopped working, but you can kind of get some nice presets of this. I'm just using clear, partially cloudy. And that gives me these nice clouds here, which are volumetric clouds. All right, we were getting our surfaces. In here, there's going to be these. I'm gonna pull this out because it's taking too long to go in and out of that folder all the time. So we're going to do some drag and drop action. I'm going to move this folder to the side just so you don't have to see it. I'm going to move this one up here so it's a little easier and maybe more compact for the stream. Boom, there we go. I do want this to be a little wider. Surfaces. These are all the surfaces we have. These are all the 3D assets. So these are the photogrammetry assets that we were kind of talking about. There's some books in here. Let's go ahead and start doing the pillar. This is one that I wanted. So this is an actual asset. You were asking about what they are. This is a photogrammetry asset. I'm going to dial down my camera speed just a tad. Even more. So they come in pretty high quality. You can see these are nanite objects. So if I zoom in super close, you'll be able to see the wavering in here. This is because this is probably several million polygons, the high-res texture. And what I'm going to do is I basically just grab these, scale it up, and start replacing some sections. I do want to bring in a bit more of this older vibe to this. And this is really like playing with Lego kits. I've talked to a lot of designers, concept artists, and people who are recently getting into Unreal, and all of them say the same exact thing, that this feels like once you get into it, like you're just playing with Legos. And the nice thing about that is you don't have to be perfect. I think a lot of people expect or think that you need to do, you need to be like the most amazing 3D artist that has ever existed, and that is absolutely not true. All you really need to do is know how to do layout and composition to get started. I just like that vibe a little bit more than this like really highly polished look. Any idea when the Aaron Sims creative course is coming online to the online school? I'm not sure. He's definitely been considering that, but I don't know if he's going to be teaching or how that's going to be working. I remember in his event he was talking about that. All right, I have this in here, so I don't need another one. Let's get a stone wall. These assets come in a little small, but that's okay. It's just crazy how high quality these are. So I think I'm going to delete. I was playing around with all this stuff, trying to get new looks or see something that could work. And I just wasn't getting anything I liked over the weekend. Over the week. I have that one over there, right? Yeah, let's move this. This could be interesting over here. A lot of this stuff is stuff from before. You can take different textures and put them on things. So for example, this mossy look doesn't necessarily jive super well with the character that's over here, this statue that's over here, right? So what you can do is you can come in here and you can go to any of these surfaces that might match, and I can just drag and drop it on. Now, it's not going to be 100% perfect, right? And it's not going to keep all of the same exact materials or anything like that. Like, let's try this one, for example, but I can still drag and drop it. And you're going to get a similar vibe. So I can still get that look, just in a different way. So this is something I'm also kind of looking at when I get these. Is like, oh, there we go. That column works pretty well with that. So I'll drag and drop that on this column as well. And I'll drag and drop that on this column as well. And, I can explore how well these materials work together. And you can put it on the big stuff too. So if this is a big thing down here, I can go on these as well. So if you want something to feel a little bit more homogeneous, meaning it's kind of like all put together in the same way, that's a good way to do it. Just kind of start using the same materials. And let's get this floor. I'm just going to put it on the ceilings of these. I'm basically just replacing these other stand-in materials that I had. I don't really like how big that is, but that's okay. Let's do this temple wall again. Let's just see what this looks like on some of these. You can even see like on these assets how it still looks pretty interesting. Like that could be actually not too bad. It's a little perfect as compared to what's over here. This is very perfect. So I think I'm probably going to use more of this kind of stuff. Rotate this around so that's the other side. That way it also doesn't look exactly the same. Delete this, delete this, delete this. We don't need all that. Let's get this over here again. Just so holding down Alt, you can copy something and drag and drop. These are all nanite objects. There's a lot of talk, and I remember before getting into Unreal, people were asking like if nanite was going to be. I remember myself questioning if it was going to be legit, as far as like, is it actually going to be able to do the things, you know, that everybody, that Unreal was saying it was able to do? And I could say from my experience, yes, it is everything that I expected it or hoped that it would be. Pretty incredible, considering this is probably a 1,000,000 polygon mesh. I'm going to hide this just so I can see my full frame. Go back to that bridge, content quixel bridge. Let's get like some of these pillars. I'll get one of these in here, add that. And I had some stone floor that I'm going to get in here as well. So we'll go ahead and get that in here soon too. And just some of these other assets that I think would add a little bit of life to the space. One piece of feedback that I would have for Unreal 5, or at least with the bridge, is I wish I could have folders of favorites. I don't think there's a way to do that. Right click. I'm trying to make one now. Folder. Create folder. Nope. It's not listening. The reason I say that is I wish that I could have that so that I could group them by project, because your bridge is combined, meaning every asset, everything you've ever worked on here is going to be in here, right? So every project, by the time I'm done with this Archetype series, every project I'll have ever worked on will be in here. And so the favorites from snow to ancient temple to, you know, anything is going to be in here, and that's really hard to add to make it easy, easy to use. This is the asset I was kind of looking for, something that might just start breaking up the ground. I'm just going to grab this and put it in here a couple times. Sometimes you just get some stone, sometimes you just rotate it around and just toss it over here. So again, this is going to be set dressing today, and what we're doing is basically just getting this kind of working. The main camera angle that I'm kind of looking at is this one. So we need to get some stuff in the foreground. Let's do that real quick. Let's go back to our perspective. Like we can take one of these. I'm just going to drag it. I'll show you what you can do if you've never used Unreal, how you can get kind of a second window. We'll do a window. Viewport, I think is what it's called. Viewport. Viewport 2. Viewport 2 is now here. I can go from this perspective and I can say I want this one to look at that camera. So I can make this smaller, I can make this big. We'll make it kind of tiny and put it right above here. I can also make it a cinematic viewport, which just adds a play button. You don't really need that, unless you're playing a video. So we'll go back to this one. A little taller so we don't have those things out of the top. Oh, as soon as I clicked it was gone though, so that's fine. So now I can manipulate things still in this browser. This is my actual camera, this little camera. You can take these and you can scale them up if you want to know where they are. It doesn't affect the actual shot itself. Now I can maybe put some stuff that's just like kind of over here. Maybe not that much, but just something that'll kind of be out of the way of of this. And then maybe I could take this and just lift it. Come on. Yeah. Something kind of like that. But now I can play with this, and as I'm working, I can say, oh, you know what? Let's move this thing. I'll be honest, working with multiple monitors is going to be way easier than this, than working on a single monitor. But, you know. Mousetrap is saying, you know, that's what you normally do. You create a folder for each project, download the assets to that folder. Yeah, you can point. That's a good idea, and that's probably what I'll need to do in the future, is point the assets or the bridge library, because you can point where the library is to that location, which is probably the best idea. Honestly, it's a really good idea, so thank you for that. My headphones are destroying my ears right now, so sorry. Let's get some like fantasy music going on. It's too chill. I'll turn it up just a bit. Let me know if it gets too loud. Alright. So I know this is probably going to move over. I need to find a better material for this. Oh, it's not bad though. Just something simple. I think I kind of just need something relatively simple. This is a box, by the way, which is why it's acting odd. That I could put some more dressing in front of. Due to the kind of time it takes to download and drag and drop things in here and do all that fun stuff, it's probably going to be something I'll do after stream, but I'd like to add some candles and some things in here that are just going to add a little bit more atmosphere. But this stuff is starting to help already. So I kind of like this, you know, like I was saying, almost like a Dracula shot. If I can get all the set dressing in, like I would love to just do like a shot that's kind of up like this. Maybe honestly, let's just delete this and see what happens. And it's not really doing a ton for me, and I'm really just kind of fighting it. So let's just remove the roof. At least in these areas. Well, maybe not there. We'll leave the big ones. But like a shot that could kind of be like this with all their stuff around them. I think that could be an interesting one. But that means I really need this floor to look good. And I'm going to have to play with that more. Let's see what else we got. What else downloaded? There's a bunch of books I have. So I'm going to download. I'm going to put those in there in a minute. We could work on that real quick. Oh, here we go. So this is just like a Japanese thing that was in the ancient temple area, but this could be used for all kinds of things. Texture, columns, ancient columns. What is this music? There was no way that was going to be Twitch safe either. It was from Baldur's Gate. Anybody playing Elden Ring? I played Elden Ring for a little while on PC, but I definitely need a controller. It is not super keyboard PC mouse. What am I trying to say? It is not very keyboard mouse useful, and all the prompts are in the other thing. I get to do so much just setup just to play the game. It's kind of frustrating, to be honest. Alright, this is looking weird. So why is that? Let's try this. Let's put something here. see what happens if we just replace this. I'm going to move this out of the way for a little bit. I'm going to move this out of the way. I just really like working in the large viewport by myself rather than having all this other stuff around. Again, that's just the challenge of being on a stream, but I take this and let's just make it huge. Oh boy. Oh boy, I like this already though. Delete. And obviously we have some things to deal with here. But even if we don't see the top, I kind of like this. It's just like a thing. What if we just take this, scale it the other direction? Probably won't see that top all that much. If we are, I'll find a way to hide it. But that's kind of interesting. I'm definitely seeing it a lot more than I expected to. You got it, but you haven't played it much. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same space. I really want to play it. There's several games I've been wanting to play. I'm really in a mood to play games recently, and I haven't really been able to. It's looking a lot better in this view as well. You can see now it's sticking out. It has like a nice drop here. And let's just like, if we're coming this way, is it going to be hidden at all? That like, yeah, this is what I want to hide. If you hit F, it basically resets it. We're going to use these big old things here to make some form of like a temple that has some skylight in the middle of it. And then we're going to delete these. A sort of ancient brutalist temple. Once you start doing that, the wood looks out of place very, very quickly. It's kind of interesting. What is this back here? Get out of here. Let's go to my details panel. In the details panel, if I have something selected, I can select this, which will browse to it, which then in the content browser will automatically bring me that. So if I want to grab any material and put it on something else, it's pretty simple. And I can now just drag and drop this on the other elements that I know need it. Even if I wanted to put it on these other things, which I'm not going to put it on that, but you know, makes it cool and easy to use. Sometimes these playlists crack me up. See ya. I wish I could just trim off some of those polys. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I know there's modeling toolkit and stuff in Unreal. I'm just trying to avoid it. And we're not going to see the outside of this building all that much. This is more just for myself at this point. So we gotta fix this floor. But this is kind of looking interesting. I mean, that's a weird polygon there, but parts of it are kind of, generally the vibe is getting more what I was expecting, which is good. And the shot that I'm kind of focusing on is also looking better, much better than it was. You can also adjust stuff in these windows. So if something like looks a little odd and you're like, not so sure. Not so sure about that one. Just delete it. I'll move it. Over here. Let's save again. Just save all. That saves everything. Obviously, save all. Should be pretty straightforward, but you'd be surprised. Where was I? Content browser. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. The posts that are wooden. That might be interesting. Because I did these, or I tried these before and they weren't working. Especially wood. But maybe if I came in here and then tried it with this, what would that look like? Come in here. And I see in my other browsers. It's just not easy to work right now. There we go. Just seeing if like creating some form of a texture is interesting. The idea is interesting, but it's not really working for me. Let's get this one. This one. I'm probably only going to aim for 2 shots in this one, maybe 3. The other ones I was able to kind of explore a little bit more, the lighting and angles, at least in the last one. But the last one was more about me learning Unreal and me learning how to it's more about me learning Unreal and learning, building an environment using Megascans and all that fun stuff. But this one is a little different as far as I tried some different things, and I've had some pretty big learning curve on this. That's okay. It's getting there, though. It's getting there. I think just putting it all in one vibe is helping so much. And again, this is probably more like the shots I'm going to use. I'm probably going to make a second camera. Let's just make a second camera. I said I would. So we already have one shot, which is going to be this shot, which is going to be kind of a distance shot. I'm not sure the lighting specifically that I'll pick for that, but we'll make another one. Let's do create. I can probably just duplicate. Go to the world outliner. Let's find that camera. Which is this one. I think I can probably just duplicate this. Edit. Duplicate. There we go. So now it has the same lens, which is what is important. I wanted to make sure I had the same lens, which is using a 50 prime with a super, this one specifically, an incredibly low f-stop right now is very, very low. And I'm going to reset that on this one. And the current aperture, we'll put it just like 1 for now. But now I can come in here and I can actually drive that. So I'm going to come in here, perspective, camera 2. It's going to be exactly from the same as camera 1, or camera with nothing, except it's more in focus, which is actually better, to be honest. So that means we're going to move camera 1 around. Come in here and say current aperture 1. And we're going to come over here and try to get this sort of shot where the character is working, but is mostly silhouetted. I need to turn this way down. This will all have paint over on it, so that's okay that there's a little bit of repetition in the character and all that stuff that needs to be painted out. That's totally fine. I'm a little worried that a 50 prime is a little close. It's a little heavy, but it's working. It's just not as much as I want. Some weird tangents, trying to align all this stuff. And it might just be as simple as me saying, you know what? I don't like that. So I'm going to my other viewport right now, which you cannot see. Trying to find this piece. There it is. Just grab it. I can just move it. Then go back to my other one. Yeah, it's still working for that. So these two shots are kind of the ones that I'm looking for right now. Maybe even just lower it. I like that window sticking through. It's kind of interesting. I'm sure as I do the sunrise, let's play it. We'll just play it. The sunrise happens super fast, but I'll go ahead and hit play. All of this would be silhouetted anyways. And then eventually the sun would come on the other side. This doesn't look very good, so I'm going to avoid any shots from here. This is interesting though. I mean, just like a simple nighttime shot. Now, if I were able to get some candles, this could be cool. So I like this a little. I'm going to change the angle so that it's not as much in frame or in the center of the frame. And we'll start there. We'll leave that alone. Let's make another camera. Let's do a top down. Let's do 3. We'll aim for 3 shots today. So we're going to do this one. We're going to do... I'll put the other one over here. We're going to do the one that we see in the background, which is this one. We're going to do this one, which is going to have different lighting. And then we're going to do a third one. So this one will probably have... I'm going to write this down in a sticky note. Sticky notes. 1624 night moon shot. So I'm making a sticky note for myself. That is the timer for the frame that I'm on. I could make a set key, and I will do this later to make it so it's easier that they're separate sequences, but I know that I like where the moon is at 1624 for the night shot. And let's find our lighting for the other perspective. So for this one, I'm going to come in here and I'm basically going to tweak this and just move this around. Let's see what we can find. I'll just let the scene play. I really like the blues and the purples and pinks that are coming out from these types of angles. I'm sure this probably looks great also from this angle. So from, we'll say, call it the close shot. We also like 802, or close to 802. I like how this is kind of creating these interesting shadows on the wall. And it gets a little flat around like here. It's not a lot of interest that's happening. Hello and welcome to the stream, everybody. If you're just joining, hi, hi, hi. Hope you're all doing well. We're taking some digital photos of our character today. And doing some more set dressing. I think 802 is also a good one for the other one. That's a little harsh. I gotta figure out what exactly is causing that. This line. There's all these little striations that I'm not entirely sure what those are. Is it just the texture? Because they're staying there. There's something that's casting lines that I don't like, but we'll figure that out later. Don't love that, but it's coming along. I liked 802. Let's make our third shot, so we'll come back into our outliner. Find that camera. We're going to duplicate this camera. There it is. I'm going to drive the camera. So we're in 3 now. We'll pick another angle. The one that I was liking the most was one of these kind of taller ones. I'm going to speed it up. We'll choose a lighting that's a little more beauty, flat lighting. Maybe even something that does take a look at the world around it. Like, I don't really like this. These are obviously mega scans that need to be adjusted or just straight up seemingly deleted. So we can come out way out here, go pretty fast. If we just take some of this, let's see. Say goodbye to that one. That's the fog. Rotate it a little bit. Just in case we're going to see any of this. Again, I don't think we will. I'm going to delete these other items. I had put these in the background at some point. It's trying to delete my sky. This was a previous block out that we had that was much more about columns and pillars. So you can see those. I did not spend a good amount of time. Oh dear Lord, there they all are. Let's delete all that. I'm just in my outliner over here trying to decipher what is old and what is new. If it's in the middle, I'm going to keep it. If it's there, I'm going to delete it. See all this stuff. This is why you should work in a clean scene, folks. Don't do what I'm doing. there. Hello. Oh. See, that's fine though. This, I don't mind. Those big old cubes. Not a fan. So what we could also do is we'll leave this one here, but we'll copy that over. This is what I started doing in my last project here. Meaning we could come here. I should really just go to the other camera, huh? We'll do a viewport window, viewports 2. There you are. Thank you. Camera actor, that's fine. Not so much that one. I don't want that one. That's one I definitely don't want. Do this one. Keep this up. Sort of as like a small preview of what we're seeing. That way I can drive this. And what I can do is just scale until it fits the scene. And I can do, obviously, I could replace this with a million other assets or whatever I wanted to do with it. But if there was a reason for me, there we go. It feels a little bit more in the right direction. So now if we did this, and I kind of move this around, we'll get some nice background stuff over there, which I kind of like. Was all the assets from Quixel aside from the bird model? Yes. How long have I been using Unreal? I have been using Unreal for not even 9 months. So I did the Unreal Fellowship at the end. I finished that in August, or it was in August of 2021. That's where I learned Unreal 4. I did the Unreal Fellowship. I made a short film in that, which was fun. And then I started using Unreal 5 in February. So my last project, which was this one, was Unreal 5. And so that was posted a month ago. So just over 2 months ago since I've been using Unreal 5. But it's not something I use all the time. It's not like the things that I do all the time. But I really like it. Let's get another one. Let's just add a little bit more atmosphere to the actual scene. Let's not use the same model, though. Why not? Nobody's going to notice. Nobody but all of the people watching right now and later. Now, the thing that might be a little weird if I do this is that the sunrise is going to come over the mountain. Is it going to block my sun? Play. Why are you not playing? There we go. I don't even know if I want this here. It's like I want something there, but I don't really want something there. I'm going to use this on my other monitor so I can just do this a little faster for the stream and actually see what I'm looking at realistically. I kind of like it just being on one side. We can add some more interest maybe and put another mountain over here. I mean, honestly, the Megascan stuff, Quixel Megascans, it's just absurd. Like how fast you can make something. It's really insane. Like, honestly, I don't know why I ever used to enjoy sculpting rocks anymore. Like, I was never an environment artist to begin with, but it's just so fast to be able to do something like this pretty quickly, just tossing stuff in there. What program do you normally use for setting up your scenes? I've been using Zbrush and Unreal. I know some other people that do like to use, Maya. Alex Alvarez likes to use Maya for his setup. I'm not really a Maya. I don't use Maya all that much. I haven't for a long time, so I find that it's a little better for me to just use ZBrush and import things and scale things. Something that I'm also kind of working on as part of this is trying to make my scenes more 3D. What I mean by that is, like, I do a lot of concept art style work where I just kind of get an image, which is what I'm doing for this one, and paint over it to get the final versions. That's what most of the work you've seen is also kind of like that. Camera's so fast. So yeah, I was gonna do a moonshot. Didn't I say a moonshot? That was for that one. I don't really want to build something on this side. Let's just stick from this side. So far we have our this one. This one isn't anything. Also not anything. So we have this one and this one. And I think this one needs to be better. So let's figure out what we can do here. This would be the... Maybe we try to do one from further away. What would this look like? Or something like this. Let's just hit play. We're going to let the sun rise on this one. It's got to be a night shot. We got to do a night shot. That's really got to be what it is. Yeah, nanite and lumite. I just mix those up. Lumen and nanite really speed things up. Kyle, you're saying you just started your job. You started using Unreal at your job, and it's so fast. It's so fast. I really like it. I really do. All right, we got to do some set dressing now, though. So let's go to, like, this. I still don't have a third angle, which I really like, or that I really like. Something like this could be interesting. Kind of framing it using these rocks. Let's go from this side. There's probably some compositional thing that makes that shape. I don't remember what they're all called, though. Nope. Nope, we just did the wrong button. Some of the viewports show this stuff. Visualize. Volumes, layers, fog. Yeah, okay. So what we need to do is we gotta get some stuff in here. But overall, we've got a couple few that I like. So we'll use this one. We'll use another one. We'll use another one. Those are the three we'll use. So we have our one. Well, this is technically three. We have our three. We have our two. And we have our one. So those are our three angles that we're going to stick with for the rest of the project. We have about 40 minutes left in the stream. So we need to do some set dressing now. All right. Set dressing time. A couple things we can do. We can obviously go into the bridge, which I think we'll need to do. Into the bridge. Can you please tell something on living life of a freelancer artist? I've never worked as a pure freelancer artist, Tatoon, who's asking. So I can't necessarily give you the personal perspective from that, but I can tell you that your average freelancer bounces around and works on as many projects as they typically can. The thing about freelancing, from what I've heard, is that you need to be careful because and you need to be careful with your finances. The reason I say that is sometimes the work just dries up. And it's not necessarily because you did anything wrong or you're a bad artist or you can't get work, but sometimes you're just not the right fit for things. Trash paper. Look at this. I think I could use this. These are decals. I've never tried decals. Can you use decals as foliage? Does anybody know if you can use decals as foliage? Or cardboard. Old corrugated paper sheet. I don't want that. What I was thinking about doing was putting some of this, like these burned papers. Parchment. I think I saw the word parchment. Parchment. Okay, if I download this, let's just try it with like 2. Download, cool. Download. Well, I said 2, but we'll do more than 2. 3. And then we'll add them, which seems to always take longer. Decals. Okay, I see the decals have appeared. They appear to be a texture. So I've never actually used a decal. Let's see what happens. Oh. Well, that's easy. This is why I like this program. Like, what is this thing? Oh, it's a decal. What the hell's a decal? I don't know. Drag it, put it in there. Oh, it worked. Okay. Foliage editing mode. Let's do some painting of some foliage. Drag and drop foliage. All right, let's see if this works. Can I drag this in here? No, I think it needs to be a mesh. So how can you do this? How can you put this in? I could obviously just put in tons of them, right? Which I'd be fine with. It's not really what I want to do, but I'll do it if that's the only way to do it. No, what we could use though, let's check this out. Let's try this real fast. So I downloaded these books for free. There's a book. Let's go back to this mode. I'll show you what I'm thinking real fast. Well, sound effects are important. Don't let anybody tell you differently. This is a book. What system do I use? I'm using a Lenovo. I am using a i9, 64 gigs of RAM with a 2080. So this is an old book, right? We're going to play around with this. This is part of the set dressing. Look at this beautiful asset. That's so nice that they just have this here. This is getting blurry. I can take these. I can obviously spin these around. I want to do a couple of these. We'll add things to the table. Hopefully we'll be able to get to that today. But what I could also do and try is let's try this foliage mode. Let's get that content browser back. Brown decorative book. Put one in there. If you didn't know, anything can be foliage. Anything. I thought I had 3 books. There. Let's paint. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look how many books there are. So let's get some rocks. Let's get some stuff in here. Right, so we can click on these individually. Scaling, minimum scale. Let's make them a little bigger. Let's say they're at 5. UE5. UE5. Let's try again. Oh, yeah. Look at those books. What the hell? Can I stack them? Go on top of each other. Okay, good to know. Oh, but they can go on assets. Like that. So we want to say, like, let's get some books in here. We got to get more books, though, y'all. Let's get some books. Let's go to that content browser. Unfortunately, the decals are not working. I don't know if there's any way to make a decal in foliage. I would imagine there's got to be some way. Translucent? No. That's the type. Let's see. Use decal as foliage. Nope. Okay. What is the main reason cavity maps are used for in ZBrush? Masking. I mean, unless you're using a map. If you're using a map, it's mostly used in texturing to add details or to put certain types of things in there. It uses you use a cavity map often as a mask. That's what you're kind of asking. Good question, though. All right, let's get some rocks. No, what did I say? Books. Let's get some books. Book. Books. This bird loves to read. He's the sage. It's the sage. We don't know if it's a man. Download. How long does that take for the high quality book? Let's do like medium quality for these. Medium quality. Download. Yeah, it's way faster. And then we're just going to put these everywhere. And then I think I was here, and I'm going to add it. Should be on high, I think. That one's there. This is when I went to medium. So you have to be on the right thing that you downloaded it to actually add it to your scene. There is a little blue thing here you can do, but I don't always trust it because it just feels like I don't feel like I know if I clicked it. I guess that's one of my frustrations with the bridge, is you don't really know if it's doing anything. A lot of the time, you know, you're just like working. It's a little odd. Maybe you can stack different layers of foliage of books. I don't think you can. I was trying that. That was why I was like, maybe, I mean, I'm not a super expert in foliage. I would love to do that, to like, that's what I want. So what I was actually thinking was, what if I just search for the word pile? I want a pile of something. This will be fine, like this. Huge snowy thing. Yeah, fuck it, give me the nanite one. Get into it. Let's see if there's anything interesting. Burnt paper. Garbage. What's this garbage pile? What's in this garbage pile? Okay. Dried leaves. This one looks better. Let's get that. I'm gonna do medium quality. None of this stuff's gonna be seen at like super high fidelity. Download this stuff. Did I get this pile up here? What will the next project be? Good question. I don't know yet. I do know. I don't know. That's the truth. I don't actually know. I try to focus on one at a time, otherwise I get distracted. I get distracted, and then I don't focus on the project. Doing a couple of these. I could probably use some more. I already have that for that, right? All right, we're going to move away from this foliage real quick. I know we've downloaded a bunch of things, lots of books, which are now in my 3D assets, but let's find a quick... If these stones were working super good, we can continue with that. Book, 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 book. Book, book, book. Book, 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 book. Huh? Cliff? Okay. Pillar. Staircase. I thought the staircase would have been cool. I thought the old library vibe would have been cool. It would have been cool, maybe if I would have found a way to make it work. But it was kind of feeling not like it's part of this world. If that makes any sense. I downloaded that one twice. Good to know. Modular ceiling, wooden post. All right. Let's get... Oh, they're all downloading. All right, when these download, I'm going to probably put one or two of these in here. I'm going to put a different material on it because I don't need it to be snow, obviously. But I'm going to try using that as like the base underlying thing for where the pile of books could go. Or not necessarily the stack of books, because I'm just going to scatter these books everywhere and see how it goes. But we'll make it work. Thank you, Jason. Super appreciate that. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. We got about 30 minutes left in the stream today. I don't think I need all of these. Let's just stop that one. Let's just stop this one. Save my internet. Save everybody here a couple minutes. Oh, it's done. Yes. Add. What's that called? What was it actually called? Snowy Rocks Pile. I thought I froze. Not gonna lie, I thought that froze to me. Snowy rock pile. There we are. This pile, which is obviously waiting to be ready, will be the basis for our piles of books that we'll use as foliage objects. Destroying my ears. There you are. All right, we'll scale this properly. Put it in some of these corners. Because all I really want it to be is just like a pile of stuff. And let's take a generic surface. That we'll make like another one over here. We'll kind of pile this like nice and tall. We'll see how this goes. Just gonna organize these differently than they are. Sticking it on the wall. Spin that bad boy around. Yeah, okay, that'll work. Put that there. Put this over here. Scale it down. Maybe even this way a little bit. case you're wondering, I'm making this up as I go, meaning I don't know exactly the sizes or the shapes. I'm just trying to make lumps basically on the ground. Lumps that I'm going to spread books on top of. It's not like I have some real master plan as to how this is supposed to work. So now that we've got some of that, let's get like a couple. Let's get like one that's like near them. See what that looks like. I feel like this would be a creature, a person, a thing that would not be especially tidy. So we'll put some of that like over here. Great. I kind of just like the set dressing it's creating in general. We can go ahead and look at our previous. Okay, there's one. There's another one. This one should be better. What happened to this one? What happened? Oh, we're inside the mound. We're inside the mound of books. We'll have to adjust that one later. We'll have to remember. Back to the perspective. Back to Bookland. All right, I'm going to make my content window, content browser. There it is. So we can go into our foliage. We've already got a couple of these. Let's get some of these books in here. Red, white, and blue book. Blue book. Another blue book. I think we already have this one, but let's put it in there. If we don't, we don't. I think I have that one. Big reader here. Big reader. First trailer for Obi-Wan just released. Wow. Atik, welcome. Hey, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. Green book. The blue book. Old damaged book. Pink book. Red, blue, fat book. Okay. Red book. White book. All right, let's try this. Let's see if this crashes it. Let's hit file save. Let's go to the paint mode. Don't know why they all look exactly the same. Not a single one of those looks like any of those books to me. Oh, that's because they're so tiny. They're like children's books. Okay, so that means we need to make some adjustments to the scale. So we need to say the minimum. We'll say the minimum will be. We have to do this for all of them, unfortunately, I think. Copy. So like see, I wish I could do this. Minimum. We saw 5 was the big book, so 5 is like that size. So we'll say like minimum 2, maximum 5. Let's do the same thing here. So I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can. 2, tab 5. 2, tab 5. Also, I'm going to have to go through and do the density of each one of these. 2, 5. Sometimes you just got to get into a group. There's probably a way to do this, huh? Somebody's probably typing in the chat right now being like, dude, stop. That's okay. Okay, and then let's like adjust the density. Because right now we're painting like, oh, I clicked. It's thinking about something. There they all are. This is now our new proper pile of books. I like that. It's working. It's dense. I mean, a single click is 41 of each one of those books. We're which is a lot. Let's change the paint density overall to like a really little amount. And some of those, what is this dark one? This black book? Just like a straight up black book. Let's just delete that. No, just not working for me. Remove. Now again, these were the piles. It's not really working on the piles like I thought it would, unless I probably have to crank the density up, turn the size down so that I have a lot of control over it, and then go like this. Yeah. Let's see if we can crash Unreal. Can we crash Unreal? That book, whatever this thing is, with the straps. Is this the strap one? Does this also have straps? Yep. That strap one is like really coming in hot, huh? It's always the same size. I think there's something wrong with it. Let's check it out. And maybe it shouldn't be that big. We'll make it like only density. Let's make it less dense, so it can only be 25. Let's see what happens if we do that. Yeah, that feels better. Is there an alternative method to export textures? Sometimes when a project has huge polys, get freezes during the unwrap. I guess your question is for Zbrush. Yes, don't unwrap something that's that high res. Use a lower res geometry. That's the way you should probably do it. All right. That one book was doing a lot of work, wasn't it? Why is this book over here doing nothing? That's not checked. Let's give this some beauty lighting. I think this will work. I just need to spend a little bit of time on it. So I'm going to change. I'm going to go to the sequencer. I'm going to change the lighting so it's a little bit more. It's not going to make the character look very good, but it will be more top-down lighting, so we can actually see what we're looking at. And I think if I come in here and just do this type of work for a minute, we'll get something that'll work for me. All right. Why is it that is anybody else who uses a tablet? I have a lot of issues with a tablet in Unreal. I don't know why. Make this 75. That brown book is seriously doing so much work. But it's always the same size. Is that okay? Let's get this one in. And then we'll go to like here. And then we'll go to here. Well, that's a lot of books. This is a lot of books. They were taller than I thought from that other angle. That's only because it's in there, huh? Alright, let's take this. Is this you? Yes. A little bit of books is fine. In the way. Maybe not so many. Yeah, that'll create like a nice framing device around them. So we'll save, and we'll get to doing our book jam. Haven't tried. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's do some books. Let's put those books in there. Foliage books. Let's see how many times we can say that in the stream. Let's turn... First I'm going to do a really low density, high paint. And just do it. Ooh. I hadn't thought to put things up here. I don't think I really like it, but I suppose that I could. We're looking through books now. We'll have to fix that later. Let's just go to our top, go to our perspective. And just some more general paint. Let's get a little bit more density in there. Let me see. If I do this, and then I come back with a high density. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're good. We're going to build up in a layer then. So I was at like 0.07. This is like an outline in the corner. Layers of books. I like that one's just like hanging out somehow on that. We'll start there. This is like a general coverage. Like I said, big reader. Big reader here. Let's get some of the stuff in here. Let's do a slightly smaller. I think we'll do 250. And we'll do double that. So let's just make it more than double that. 20. Nope, sorry. 0.2. A little bit more in some of these corners. Some of these areas over here. Even lower. Let's do like 0.01. What does that look like? Yeah. 0.001? That's definitely like the occasional loose book. So if we like, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make a stack of books, and then I'm going to place some stacks of books around too. But I'll have to do those by hand. And then we'll do like a 0.5 one and a much smaller brush like we had tried. And we're going to do like this. Just going to put some of this around here. The nice thing about foliage is that it doesn't really hurt you too much. Say that now, it's like doing some weird stuff on me, but let's see. It's running pretty quick. be real with you, it's running real quick. Let's go to our perspective. Let's go to our camera actor 1, which is now hidden by books, which means we probably need to just like come out of that. Maybe we can turn our camera speed way, way down. Find the perfect angle with the book as a foreground object. It's so fast. Hi again. Sorry about that. We had a weird glitch in the stream. Too many books. We're back though. Probably something like this. Let's go ahead and adjust. I think we were saying 802 is my sticky note. Yeah, 802. 802 would be like this. Yeah, you can't even really tell, huh? But all that stuff around is adding a lot more texture, which I'm a big fan of. Just leave it there. Camera 2. Can't really see anything. Let it resolve. When this thing like covers the screen, I think it's actually doing adjustment, like auto exposure. Hard to see with all those books, so I'm gonna have to move some of them, I think, or we'll just need to move this camera, which is totally fine. Some things maybe a little bit more like this, or we'll just move them. Do that later. This one's kind of working. You kind of get the vibe more of what I was kind of going for with all this. I think a couple stacks would really help it stick out though. So let's go into a normal mesh mode. So with a normal mesh, which is what this is, these are foliage. This is all foliage. This is a normal book. So I can take this, and I'm going to take my content browser again, which I have over here on my other monitor. Yeah, the stream for some reason freaks out almost every time. It basically kicks me out. Make some stacks of books. Just kind of start picking through the ones that I have. And placing these individually. Much like I've done in real life many times. Probably take this and do a couple. I'll just make like 2 or 3 or 4. Just it doesn't take too long to make a couple of these. But I think that if I were to do this, I'd make like a really tall one. as tall as I would want to go, but I could obviously dupe some of these over and over. But I think if I create this, it creates a different type of interest. Which I could then use in other places, meaning I could take this, duplicate that around. I could even scale it, which is going to scale the books oddly. A little bit. I could come over here, just like create some stacks. Maybe just delete the top book, or just push the top book inside, so it doesn't look like it's exactly the same. Oh, hello world. But you can kind of see how that adds like a sort of a structure to some of this madness. I think I'll have to do that a couple times. I'll have to figure out how I'm going to make my candles, do the nighttime scene. The large pile of books, this one, these ones, this is all foliage. So right now as it stands, this is actually all one big pile of books. I'm gonna live in here. I think some stacks of them would be good, and to add some of that. And then I got to figure out some candles. I think candles would be a nice way to do it. Yeah, big piles on either side of the character. I think we'll add a lot. Oop, that's way too fast. Then I got to figure out my floor texture. Is still a thing I got to do. I might just take like this one. Let's just try that real quick. I'm looking for not world details. Details 1. Let's put that in our content present. No. I have all these windows over on my other monitor, which are not organized at the moment. But I'll take browse to that, and I'll put this here. I don't really like that still, but just because the texture is too large, it needs something different. So I'm going to have to play around with that. Originally I was using stuff like this, which is kind of interesting too. More interesting when you see probably stuff off of it. I wonder what that would look like with the combination. So if I came in here and to like the time frames that we're kind of talking about. I think I broke my lighting. For some reason I have 2 dynamic skies. There we go. I must have duplicated it. It's like, this is kind of cool where there's like a bunch of stuff on the ground. Whereas if I use like a flat material, it's just like, eh. Here's some woods. Parquet woods, herringbone woods. Whereas I do really still like this one. It doesn't match the aesthetic. Oh, come on. Where are you? Oh! It doesn't really match the aesthetic at all. But I like it the most. So maybe we'll just stick with that. Maybe some scrolls. I think I have to make the scrolls. Unfortunately, I'll have to make them. Because I looked up scroll, and they don't really have anything. They have decals, which I can put like pieces of paper around. But I have to make some scrolls, and I'll probably make a scroll. I don't know. we'll see if I get enough time. What happened over here? Oh, it's just shiny. But I do like this reflectiveness on it. So especially like if I were to go, we'll push this back just a couple frames. And forward a little frames because it got too dark. But something like this for me is starting to get there. You know, from whether it's this angle, which is not really showing that, or this angle, which is showing it more, or this, I just kind of like that. So I think I might just find a way to use that like polished material. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I got the feathers to work. They don't look that great. They're not amazing as far as I wanted them to be. But I think that they'll be a nice, nice little change of texture. And I'm going to do some, probably a pretty heavy amount of paint over on this. So there will be plenty of blur and, all that fun stuff. Maybe some curtains, add another light source. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, another light source. I definitely, when it gets night time, want to do whatever it's called. Candles. We'll do some candles. I agree, Ty, it looks too clean. So, got some work to do, but next stream, this is actually time for the stream. So, next stream, I will be doing a new character. So, we'll be starting character number 4 of 12. And I'll show you the finals of this. I'll do that for you next stream and kind of get you caught up onto what I did here. So I'll show you the Photoshop docs and all that fun stuff. But we're getting close. I feel like, today doing the set dressing, getting some lights set in, just getting the overall vibe. I think it's feeling a lot better, getting some initial camera stuff in there. So I'm feeling good about it. A lot of work to do in a week, but it'll look good, or it'll be done. All right, everybody. Thank you all very much. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And I will see you all very, very soon.